Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi team, this is Karthik. Can you all hear me okay? Hello everyone and welcome. This is Karthik from ITeLearn. Thank you all for coming today for a free orientation session. I actually used a wrong word called free. It's an orientation session for Certified Selenium Developer. So most of you, I'm assuming, know or are aware of the tool called Selenium, and hence that's the reason you're here. So very briefly, I'm going to talk about what is this program for about 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And then I want to talk about how we have scheduled a weekend batch that will something that we're doing it for the first time. And I believe strongly that it will be a timing greatly suitable for UK, Europe, Middle East, India subcontinent, Russia, China, Australia, New Zealand. A lot of APAC and also Middle East and UK, Europe. So with that in mind, we've kind of put this forward as something that we could really benefit give as a benefit to our students worldwide. So before I go forward, team, I just wanted to let you all know that today's session is an orientation session that will give you an idea about what this program is, if it is suitable for you, and is it in line with your career aspirations, and what is it that we are doing on the 6th and 7th of January that you would then look at if this is the program you want to go with. So Certified Selenium Developer Training primarily focuses on making you a Selenium developer rather than a tester, which the industry requires. But this is a program we've been doing for a while, for at least the last 9 to 10 years. And with our exposure in Selenium and how we have continued to build our different products like AnyAUT, or how we have executed our various real projects that we've got to Atomic 77, we have taken Selenium now to a different level and saying, hey, let's become developers. That is what the industry requires. Now, having just a simple thing like, Selenium developer by itself and not too much of practical experience can be a hamper to your career growth. And that is the reason we want to talk about how you can get certified on that. So team, without further delay, I want to go forward and talk about the program and how we've put this together. I do have a few poll questions that will be a great starting point for us, and I want you to take a few seconds to answer them out for us, please. The first question is very simple. It is a quick introduction about who you are. This talks about your association with the IT industry. Are you someone who's working in the industry or new to it? Are you someone who's in software testing or an expert in automation? I would request you all to take a few seconds and select your option on your screen, please, not on the chat. Once again, team, I'm going to keep it up for another 10 seconds, this poll. Your choice must be put on the display on your GoToWebinar and not in the chat. All right, great. So I've got about 50% votes only so far. I'm going to give another 10 seconds and let it close. About 70% votes are in. All right, great. So I'm going to close this poll now and share the results. At this point, you should all be seeing what's on your screen. This is phenomenal, team. This is the first time I've got such a poll where 3 out of the 5 options have got 0. And this also says this 33% of you are absolute beginner to IT, and then the 67% of you who's working in software testing, but were looking to move to automation. So brilliant. I do have one bad news, but with a great suggestion or solution to that, to the 33% cause. This specific program is an advanced program. So it is more suitable to the ones who are currently working in software testing or in automation and looking to enhance it. But at the same time, we also have a plan of how we can take this forward to you from beginner to IT all the way to software testing, software test automation, and more towards certified Selenium developer. So the difference is we have to work longer because we're just getting started into IT. But for the remaining of you who's already working in software testing, I would say this fits in perfect like a T to your aspiration to get into automation. So great. Thank you so much for filling in that poll. And I've shared the results to you. There seems to be a couple of questions from the audience that I quickly want to take. Team, as a general webinar process, every one of you are muted. If you have questions, please hold them back for the right opportunity when I start the Q&A, and at that time you can present. So please have yourself with your questions ready, and during that time I can unmute you if you want to speak your questions. All right. Great. I do have 2 or 3 more polls, team, that I would quickly want to get your response. Second one is pretty easy, where you are from. So please pick your geography and put it in. That way we know where our audience is, team. I'm going to give about 10 seconds for this poll to get completed. All right, so we've got 100% votes, and that's amazing. So I'm going to close this and share. It's again that I'm getting 3 of them as, there's no one right now from America, Australia, New Zealand, or UK, Europe. So we've got 89% from India and South Asia. 11% of you are from other countries which are not listed. Can I kindly request the people with the 11% to please try and mention in the chat what country you represent? That'll be really great for us from statistics perspective. All right, so while that's happening, thank you so much, team, for filling this poll. I'm going to quickly hide this too and move on. This is good because we have 2 orientation sessions that we plan, the one that's going on right now, and there's one at 8 p.m. IST. So I'm assuming we'll have a much better audience turning up for that. So team, with this having been said, I have one more final poll question that I want to do, and then we'll move on, please. This is a simple question. This just talks about your association with ITeLearn. Are you already a Selenium premium member or JPACT, a year-end sale member, or an upcoming CSDT Plus? So I will all request you all to take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, fill it in, please. Shouldn't be too hard. All right, great. Thank you, team. I've got 80% votes in. Can I request everyone to fill it in? Great, thank you. So there you go. I'm glad again, these are live polls and I'm sharing it with you on the screen. 0% of you have mentioned you're not a member. 60% of you already are ITeLearn members. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us. 40% not yet, but planning, yes, and we will guide you through that process. So that's beautiful. Thank you so much, team, for filling this. Let me hide and let's get back with our presentation. So I'll quickly move through for the next 10 minutes and talk about what we're planning. I'm assuming that a lot of you know what we're doing here, but I'll try and keep it very simple. This is a good diagram that kind of emphasizes what is our focus. So what this shows you is the same thing that we're talking about. 6th Jan, noon India is when the training is starting. It's going to be for 2 days, 6 hours each day. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and accomplish all of these. So the first question that I have, and I don't have a poll for it, but can I ask you all to see if we can master these tools in about 12 hours? And let's say we extend it by another hour or 2 and make it 14 hours. do you believe that we'll be able to master all those skills that you see on the screen right now? 12 hours ain't possible, team. No, not even one. Forget all of them. In 12 hours, you can't really do even one. So then how is it and what is it that we'll do in the CSDT Plus? That should be the first question that should be there in the mind. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions straight away, and I would love your answers, team. It'll take us hardly a couple of minutes. I'm going to take my mouse and try and point it over some of these icons that you see, and you tell me if you know what that is, stands for, and what it is. For example, out here, you all know this tool, I'm assuming. Luckily, there's the name also there, Jira. Now, I'll ask another question related to it. What is Jira? A one-line answer. Second, who is the company that has Jira? Or which is the company that whose product is Jira? Atlassian, that's correct. And Jira is a bug tracking tool or a test management tool or a test case or a, yeah, so it can be used both as a test management and bug tracking tool. Perfect. Now, for those of you not aware, you know that this is too early as a program for you. Now, how about out here? What is this logo or icon signifying? Jenkins Hudson. Perfect. Thank you, team. That's amazing. Now, what does Jenkins or Hudson do? What does it do, team? It's a continuous integration tool, right? Now, that's good. I'm happy. So, continuous integration activity pipeline. Great way to put it, Rakesh. Thank you so much. How about this? The one I'm pointing right now. This, I think, phenomenally, everyone should know because this has been there for ages. I think at least 25 years, right? And that's our Java. All right. How about here? TestNG is fine. What about these feathers here, team? Do anyone know what these are? Apache, correct? Apache open source to community and tools that we're using. How about this red here? Git. Wow, cool. That's amazing. Obvious Selenium, JUnit, HPLM. How about AnyAUT, team? How many of you know what is AnyAUT? And I put a poll in front of you for this, just to know if you already know AnyAUT from your end or you're not exposed to it. It's like, no, I don't know. What is AnyAUT? No basically means I'm hearing it for the first time, team. Yes means I've heard about it. 17 means maybe, just heard. Yeah. Yes is you know about it well. All right. I'm going to take 5 seconds to close this poll. Can you all please fill it in? 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm closing it now. As I was about to close, I'm getting 5 more percent, 3 more percent, 1 more percent. There you go. So I'm sharing it. So 30% of you know, 60% of you yes, 10% of you maybe just heard about it. That's great. So 70% of you know AnyAUT, 30% of you are not aware, and that is fine. The reason I picked up poll for this is AnyAUT is our product. It is not up, it's coming from our store and it is competing in this space. And it is not necessary that everyone is aware, but we slowly build on it. How about the last two? This one, team. Let me quickly hide the polls and get back to Spotlight. How about this icon, team? Robot. Yep. What robot? This is not RobotFramework, team. RobotFramework has a different icon altogether. This is the one for AnyAUT. In fact, it is duplicate. It should not be. This represents, it's a mascot for AnyAUT. And what we have is Trello, your database, your entire DevOps that you have, and so on. So this is a big, huge task. So in this 12 hours, I want you all to do something special that we could not do in the maybe 50 to 60 hours of training that we went through. And instead of me coming up and telling you this is what I've planned, which I already did, of course. I want to hear from the audience, what do you expect? What is it that CSDT covers currently, and what do we expect? So now that we've seen our PowerPoint and the image, I want to quickly now move on to discussing about CSDT team. Where is my notepad? Out here. Okay, CSDT plus font, format, font. The system is a little slow. I apologize for that. 18. Okay. All right. CSDT plus. Now, what does CSDT have, team? Can you help me? Contain as what, or rather, I'll put it this: what is CSDT course content? Who can help me on this? Randomly, doesn't have to be in the same order. To be a certified Selenium developer, the following skills, come on, are mandatory. Now the team is going to help me fill this. I'm going to start writing by reading what is there. Doesn't have to be in the same order, like I said. So let's see. I didn't get anything. I just got one test management tool like Jira, ALM, Bugzilla, or Experitest products, any of these that you see, right? How about programming languages? Now there are multiple ones. We have Java series, we have the C# .NET series, we have Python, and then we have we can also try and do it with Ruby on Rails and so on, right? Then, but before test management, we're missing, I'm assuming within manual testing, manual QA and test management tools, okay? Then we have automation testing tools like your Selenium, UFT, etc. But we're not covering anything else except for Selenium in this. However, as part of our program, we do also have RobotFramework, Cucumber, and we are aggressively talking about how we can do our entire test management and automation using our AnyAUT.com application. Then we have our frameworks, all the frameworks, POM, KDF, hybrid frameworks, Page Factory, etc. And then we have our CI/CD portion, which includes Jenkins, Maven, and then we have GitHub and Git repository. When I say CI/CD and project management, I'll say team, that'll make it easy. The reason I'm not reading it and I'm writing it is this has a much better retention both for me and you team when you're looking what's happening, and we are all on the same flow. So we have these, then we have also used Trello and a few other things that we do to organize ourselves. Is there anything else that is part of Selenium, Certified Selenium Developer training? So this is just CSDT course. Then we need to talk about what do we need in CSDT plus. Anything else that I've missed? If not, now you help me answer the other one. What do we need in CSDT Plus? 70% of this audience today are ITeLearn members. So you know our trainings, you know our programs, you've been experiencing it. So if you tell us what do you expect in CSDT Plus, we can start incorporating. And the reason we're doing this orientation session is to understand what you want and maybe how we can customize our program for that. So what do we need? What do we want in CSDT Plus? Something that's missing here. What do you want, team? Tell me. I'll just start putting whatever I start saying. Okay. Cucumber, sure. In fact, Cucumber is already here. What else? What else do we need to be highly successful in the market? Is it fair and right for me to assume that you all have been exposed to the software testing market and you know the trends and technologies, right? Appium, I think that makes sense, which is not part of CSDT totally right now, I believe. Python is there, Cucumber is there. What else? See, what is already mentioned in the screen, drop it, team. What else? I was talking more in terms of not just technical, but also resume help. I'm also talking about interview guidance, job placements. Now, won't this be a JPACT program? So, isn't CSDT plus than JPACT? It is not, team. Why is it not? Because the access is for JPACT is unlimited to our programs. Oops. Programs. At ITeLearn. All right. So that's one thing that, so it is not the same as JPACT. So we are very specialized, focused. We're saying, I want to be Selenium developer. I'm not saying I want to be master at web services also, or mobile app testing, or backend testing, or database testing, services testing, and so on. We're saying, no, I want to be a Selenium developer. That is what this program is. We want to groom you, we want to uplift you and really get you to that next stage in a significant manner. Now, having said this, the way we will come up with the whole program is, number one, it will have a 4 to 6 weeks online training. All right. 2, post which members can upgrade to CSDT Plus. All right. And then we will start marketing, start building your skill and resume for the test automation industry. Oh, I'm making too many spell errors, team. Sorry about that. Now, what is very critical that you all need to really look at from the structure is the first CSDT program that we're doing is Hyderabad Chapter. So this is going to be interesting, team, and this is where I believe we're going to get an opportunity to start interacting face to face as well. So there is CSDT Plus. The primary thing is in class and online. So whatever is happening, you would be able to access them either by attending it in class or online. What we intend to do is repeat these sessions with timings and locations suitable for all members. All right. But we will schedule around 10 programs, 10 CSDT plus programs, I'll say, in 2018. So once we finish Hyderabad, maybe I want to do one in LA or San Francisco Bay Area or Chicago or East Coast, New York, New Jersey area, or little down south, Virginia. Could be Texas, Dallas, Austin. Could be somewhere in India as well, again, Bangalore, Chennai, Noida, Delhi, Mumbai. There's so many other metros there where we have audience from. But the batch, though, is planned in Hyderabad. The timings are suitable for from UK to New Zealand all the way. So there'll be a slight couple of hours here and there where there's little waking up little early morning or getting back to bed little late night. But what we're going to do is we're going to spend a lot of time during this 12 hours in reshaping you. So if I say that CSDT plus will just add Appium and these topics, it won't really do much, team. From my perspective, this is a total hands-on only program where we will have to do something where we all sit down and start coding, start building. And I really want you all to look at it on how we can build this. This is something like a fast track and fine tuning of your existing skill. So in 12 hours is not for learning something you have not done earlier. It is not for that. It is basically for implementing what you learned in hands. Making too many spell errors. Okay, give me a second, team, for implementing what you learned in a hands-on environment. Now, there are some really interesting things that I'm doing in terms of seating arrangements and so on for the first one. But like I said, this is also the first time we're doing a weekend training. We did one earlier a few years back as a weekend training, half a day placement workshop. This is a totally different workshop, team, called CSDT Plus. And this is to sharpen your skill, your knowledge, and give you that confidence to go into the market and get your dream job. So now for us to achieve this, we really need to work on a plan. And the plan on how those 12 hours will be spent based on this session, your inputs from the Q&A that will follow now, we will implement and share with you before 6th of this month. So team, having said this, that is basically what I have in my mind right now. And I would like to put this together into a document and share it with you so you can know. Now, I would love to have questions. The questions, let it come from any perspective, but I would love to answer them, team. If you're looking to raise your hand, to speak your question, then please do raise your hand in the GoToWebinar. So team, while you all assimilate the questions, because what I've seen typically from our earlier webinars is the audience takes a good 5 to 10 minutes to put the questions together and share it with us. So I'm going to pause the recording and I'll restart it once the questions are with me. All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. There are a few questions that have come up, so I'm going to quickly answer them, not too many, and then I'll see you on the 6th, most of you. The first question is, did not get fully what exactly you meant with last point. What do we want in CSDT plus? Okay, so I'm going to talk about that quickly. What I meant to say is CSDT, which is Certified Selenium Developer Training, is an existing training program with ITeLearn. And in fact, we're starting the third batch very shortly, within a few days, and that would have a rigorous training on all these aspects that I'm speaking about. And there are a few more that are involved into it, but these are at least what is covered for you. Now, when it comes to CSDT Plus, we really want to take this to the next level. How can we improve the existing program? What can we add to it that will give you and us a good, much better benefit out of our relationship? That is what it meant. I hope I answered that question to you. And then I have another question. Unable to join on 6th and 7th, can the sessions be recorded? So we'll be ready for next CSDT Plus chapter. Perfect. So here is an important answer, team, that I'm going to give. There are three things, okay? There is a prerequisite, which is manual testing trained or experience. Now, this is the prereq for CSDT Plus. All right. If you really need to get to that, you need to start here and keep going. Okay. Now, when you are looking at the sessions, I'm saying we are currently doing in Hyderabad, and the timings are like more suitable for UK to New Zealand. The next one we may do in US, could be LA, Bay Area, Chicago, and so on, like I was mentioning to you. And that will be specifically a time zone where all the US audiences can attend for sure. US, Canada, Americas overall. Okay. And then we will try and see how we can take it further into the other locations as well. So to answer your question, yes, the sessions will get recorded, and yes, you will be able to attend these sessions on, if not the one that is happening in Jan, maybe the one that's happening in Feb. What is more important is if you see a schedule of a CSDT Plus program happening in a location which is suitable for you, then you can also attend that in person. I'm going to move on to the next question, team. Usage of code coverage tools. BDD implementation, yes. So BDD and how we do acceptance test driven development. I kind of put both of them together. That is also kind of covered. Methodologies like agile, behavior driven development, acceptance test driven development are all there. So we're talking about more user stories and experience as the primary thing when we look at testing applications. All right. So usage of code coverage tools significantly that we will be doing are all part of a CI/CD. There is a certain level of DevOps flavor to it, but it's not really DevOps because we are focused on software test automation, which could fall under an overall development operations. Okay. BDD implementation, that's another question I answered. I'm going to the next question. Our applications are developed on .NET and AngularJS. Does AnyAUT support these applications? Okay, so this is a little separate question from our current CSDT Plus topic, but I will definitely answer. Irrespective of it, the application being built on .NET or Java or C language or HTML, doesn't matter, PHP, Python. Because end of the day, AnyAUT is an application that helps you to write and maintain your test management using a cloud front and execute without any coding on using Selenium as your automation tool. However, there are challenges then when it comes to working with dynamic applications or some of the later technologies that are upcoming in the market, like for example AngularJS or Node.js and so on. Why would that happen? The reason it would happen is as browsers come up with new versions, Selenium team has to come up with new web drivers and browser drivers to make things compatible. Similarly, as these technologies keep coming up, the Selenium, when it goes to the DOM, document object model, and scans to the entire HTML code of a given web page, it will not be able to recognize something that is not already built to recognize. and AngularJS is such a thing. So AnyAUT Orange does not support AngularJS. AnyAUT Peach should be doing that. Alright, I hope I answered that question. I'm taking next question. Sir, I'm Abdul Rahman A from Nigeria. What is the benefits? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to quickly read these questions. What are the benefits of being a Selenium developer? And if one does have good background in programming, can cope up with these training? Thank you so much. I agree. This is a nice question. Actually, what are the benefits of being a Selenium developer? And if one does have a good background in programming, can cope up with these training? Awesome. Okay. Benefits is one, then cope with the training. Very interesting. I think this is a good summary of what we do. Benefits, what's the benefit? The first benefit is shift left. Who does not know what is shift left in software testing? It's a big concept, right? So you're seeing a lot many people trying to move towards left side of SDLC, where it starts with requirements, then you go into your design, then you go into your coding, then your test, then you deploy, correct? So where is testing starting? Here, way towards the right side, right? So we're saying let's shift this left. Let it come closer to coding or design or requirements. While requirements is being created, is there anything that we can do as software testing? That's your shift left. The biggest benefit of CSDT Plus is absolutely on par with shift left. The second thing is the industry is looking for SDETs. What are they? Software Development Engineer in Test. And these are the new titles. So what it means? CSDT equals SDET. Okay? CSDT plus equals SDET job. That is what I want to achieve with this team. So you will be a software development engineer in test. So team, it is heavy, it is intense, it is a lot of programming. It is gonna be coding all the way. So it is not for members who are shying away from coding. If you are, start first with CSDT basics, which are there, and then you can move forward. Now, ideal for our existing CSDT or JPACT and Selenium members, because they have the skill, and ideal for someone who is planning to go aggressively into the job market. What do I mean by aggressive team? This is a very key word. Aggressive approach is very simple. Aggressive approach basically says, listen, I am absolutely committed to get this job. I want this. I'm going to work hard, do all that is in my capability, talk to people, find the right mentors, find the right program, skill, get the project, put it on my resume, go into the job, keep attending interviews, do not lose faith, and ensure that I get a job. Sounds very easy to say, team. One of the most toughest things that humans have ever had is to find a job. That is the most painful thing that every human must have gone through sometime. I would say at least most of us. So today, if we are talking about CSDT Plus, it is aggressively to take you to the job market. Now, if you cannot cope with the training, you should be able to slow down. Step back, repeat. If you are unable to cope up with the training, the intent is not to cram. This is a fast track, quick cram, weekend refresher course. Okay, like a quick boost that is giving to you, like an adrenaline. It's like, you give a candy to a kid, they will run actively for an hour or two because there's too much sugar in the blood. And that is what we're doing. We're trying to give you some kind of an boost that will help you into the market. So you really need to put your thought together if you want to be a QA engineer or you want to be an SDET. Can I ask one question? Who gets paid more, QA engineer or SDET? Simple question. Audience, can you help me answer that? Who gets paid more? Absolutely SDET, there's no question. Of course, it is a QA engineer who's got a domain expertise, maybe Selenium a little bit here and a little better, but will not come to the level of SDET, right? Second question, is it easier to get a QA job or an SDET job team? Which job is easier? Is it easier to get a QA engineer job or an SDET job? Which job is easier to get? The easier job to get is SDET and not QA job. Unfortunately, it is not the same answer. QA job is much tougher to get than SDET. I'll tell you why. There may be, let us say, in your neighborhood, 100 QA positions currently available, but only 10 SDET positions. But for this 100 QA positions, there are 10,000 people applying. All right. But for this 10 SDET positions, there are only 40 people applying. So to find an SDET job is easier if you already have the if you're well trained into it. Last question thing. Which is tougher to learn, QA or SDET? So there's manual test QA and there's SDET. And I asked like 3 questions. Was the first one, pay, low, high. Correct? And then next one, what was it? Team, I asked, ease of getting job. From my perspective, this is high as competition is low, and this is low. All right. Third one is easy to learn. Which is easy to learn, team? Of course, manual QA. Which is tougher to learn? Tough. And comparatively, this is pretty easy. Now, I'm saying, assuming a lot of you are already here. Now let's talk about SDET, because there are no jobs that you will get easily with a good pay in manual testing. There's a lot of competition. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but the global arena is changing in terms of, especially starting with US, visa laws, H1 rules and all these things happening. This is going to change everything on how we work at a global platform, and what we're building as QA on air is now going to really help us to launch forward. So that's a different topic. Right now, let's say, forget it, let's not be too greedy. I'm okay with low pay, good. But then ease of getting job is very, low, sorry. Here, low, ease of getting job is low, is high here. Okay. The only challenge is it is a little bit more tougher, but that is where we come in. All right. We are the experts in terms of Selenium training, and you all, I'm assuming, team are aware, and hence I would not speak much about it. All that has to happen, you have to have a very scheduled and organized learning plan. Okay, team? So once you put that, you will be able to get successfully through CSDT and then CSDT plus. And that is what we're trying to put together. Now, when it comes to some of these topics, I'm not saying that, hey, you know what, we will touch all of them in these 12 hours of training in CSDT plus team. We cannot humanly cover all of them. We'll be able to touch some of them. Some of them we'll have to go back and watch them as videos offline. You will have to put in that effort. Some of the things we'll have to work together. And that is something I'll put and share before we start the training. Right? I'm going to move on to a few more last questions, team, and we'll be able to wind up for the day from there. Maven plus Jenkins integration. Yeah, so I don't know why you are, if it's a question or something, Rizwan, but that is something we're already doing as part of training and projects. Does the tools mentioned in the tools be used for unit and integration testing automation? Guys, I'll request you all to please ensure you put correct English statements where the meaning is the same. All right. I'm assuming my audio is okay for up, right? Because my mic was a little far away. Does it okay? Any exposure of DevOps tools like Chef and Puppet? No, I wouldn't say there's exposure of DevOps tools in this program because our focus is more on Certified Selenium development. So team, from my side, that's about it. I hope and wish to see you all on the 6th or 7th of January, 6th and the 7th. If that does not work, we will look for you in a future batch. Thank you so much. Take care and have a great time ahead. Bye now. Bye all. Thank you.